Inshallah, our daily tafsir will continue with Mufti Minhaj.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is an odd night, an night of ibadah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it is very late. The hours will pass very quickly. So I'll try to keep it brief, inshallah. Today we covered half a juz. Those brothers who are leaving can please take the conversations outside, inshallah, in the lobby. Jazakullahu Khairun, if you can take your conversations into the lobby, inshallah. So we covered the first half of the 26 juz, Surah Al-Ahqaf, Surah Muhammad, and half of Surah Al-Fath. In Surah Al-Fath, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna fatahna laka fatham mubina. Verily, we have granted you, O Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, a manifest clear victory. We have granted you, O Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, a manifest clear victory. There is a sabab al-nuzul, a story behind the revelation of these ayat, and they are very great lessons for us. Surah Al-Fatih, the 48th surah of the Quran. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, when he made hijrah from Makkah al-Mukarramah, he was in great pain. And Makkah al-Mukarramah was his homeland, where he was born, his hometown, where he grew up. And he had great love for the city of Makkah, not only because it was his hometown, in home city, but because of the Baytullah, the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Kaaba, zadahullah wa sharafa. We have such soiled hearts, filled with sins. Despite this, when we go for a few days and visit Baytullah to perform Umrah or to perform Hajj, when we are leaving, we feel sad. All of us, we feel the sadness. When we make the final tawaf of the Kaaba on the way out, we feel the pangs of separation. That this is the last tawaf I'm doing, the tawaf al-wada', the farewell tawaf. Now I have to take my flight and go back to my country. I cannot perform the salah in such a manner, seeing the Kaaba right in front of my eyes. The Kaaba has this unique attraction to the heart of every believer. Every believer has this attachment to the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imagine in this bygone era, we still have that attachment. So how much must have been the attachment of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to the Kaaba, and how much love he had for the Baytullah. It's unbelievable, that attachment that must have been there. And he had to leave the city of Makkah under very trying circumstances, very difficult conditions. When he was making hijrah, he was crying. He actually showed us that he should use hikmah and wisdom, that when he started traveling, he did not travel north towards Medina, he moved south in the opposite direction, and he took refuge in a cave, the Ghar of Thawr, for 3 days. And after 3 days of hiding there with Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu, Finally, when they felt it was appropriate now, they came out of the cave and they bypassed the city of Makkah al-Mukarramah and they came onto the road going towards Medina. When they came onto that main road, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam once again looked back at the road going to Makkah, and his heart was overcome with grief and he started crying, tears, and of separation. And he addressed Makkah and he said, Ya Makkah, innaki atyabul biladi ilayya. Oh Makkah, you are the most beloved piece of earth to me. لولا أن أهلك أخرجوني منك ما خرجت منك قط. If it wasn't that the dwellers of Makkah have expelled me from Makkah, I would never have left you. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala consoled Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam by revealing an ayah, إِنَّ الَّذِي فَرَضَ عَلَيْكَ الْقُرْآنَ لَرَادُّكَ إِلَى مَعَادٍ. Verily that Allah who has revealed this Quran upon you is promising that one day He shall return you back. One day you will return back to Makkah. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, his heart was fortified with that bashara, with that glad tiding, and he continued onward in his journey to the new land of Medina. And the years went by, the months went by, the years went by, the first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, sixth year. Many battles took place, many different types of tests came about. Battle of Badr took place, Uhud took place, Khandaq took place. Finally, in the sixth year of Hijrah, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw a dream. He saw a dream that he is traveling with his companions towards Makkah al-Mukarramah, and they are all wearing the ihram. And when he goes towards Makkah, he enters the city of Makkah. They are making tawaf with the Baytullah. He hasn't seen Makkah for 6 years. And it seems impossible for him to go there. But this is the dream he sees, that he is making tawaf with the Baytullah. Very blessed dream, very happy dream. And then the keys of Makkah are given in his hand. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, when he woke up, he told his companions, this was a practice of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, after the Fajr Salah, he would ask, did anyone have a dream, a notable dream? And if anyone had a dream, they would mention it to him and he would interpret their dream, give the meaning of the dream. And sometimes Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam on a few occasions would share his own dreams. So he shared his dream with the companions. They became overjoyed because they were taught and they knew that the dreams of the Anbiya alayhimus salam are a form of wahi, revelation. In the beginning of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's prophethood, he used to receive a lot of dreams. And Khadija radiallahu anha says that whatever dream Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw, it would come true the next day, and I would have as much conviction that exactly what he saw is going to happen, just like you have conviction that tomorrow the sun is going to rise. You have no doubt that tomorrow the sun is going to rise. Likewise, I did not have any doubt that whatever dream Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw at night is going to come true. Another example of the dream being a wahi, very well-known example, is that of Ibrahim alayhi salam. Ibrahim alayhi salam, when he addressed his young son, as mentioned in Surah Al-Safat, he said, Ya bunayya, O my dear son, inni ara fil manam. Verily I saw a dream. Anni azbahuka, that I am slaughtering you, sacrificing you. Fandur madha tara. So you think about it, what is your opinion? So Ismail alayhi salam could have said that, oh dad, you had a nightmare, very horrific dream. He did not say that. He was the son of the Nabi of Allah, and look at the language he adopted. He had no doubt whatsoever that if his father saw this dream, then this means that this is a order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he said, Ya abati, O my dear father. He didn't even say Ya abi, O father. He said Ya abati. Abati means O dear father. O dear father, if'al ma tu'mar. Go ahead and fulfill the order that you have been commanded. Go ahead and fulfill the order you have been commanded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Did the father say I was commanded? He didn't say I was commanded. He just said I saw a dream. But the son is saying, go ahead and fulfill the order you have been commanded. Satajiduni insha'Allahu minas sabirin. You will find me indeed, insha'Allah, if Allah wills, among the patient ones. The scholars say that he was not making any boastful claims. First of all, he said insha'Allah. And on top of that, he didn't say satajiduni insha'Allah sabiran. You will find me patient. Rather, he said minas sabirin, from amongst the patient ones. I'm just one patient among many patient people. Meaning there's a whole jama'atul sabirin, a whole group of sabir people, and inshallah I will be just one fard, one individual from that group. He did not want to be boastful. So the dreams of the Anbiya alayhimus salam and the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are a form of wahi. So the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, they got very excited, very, very overjoyed. And they said, that's it. You saw the dream. We are going to go to Makkah. We're going to go make tawaf. You're going to see the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's been so many years. And the pangs of separation we have been suffering from, now is the time. Subhanallah, they started getting ready on their own. And they started making preparations. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw that, he said, okay, if everyone is insisting to go now, inshallah, we can make the intention to go. Now, keeping in mind, the political climate was such that Makkah was the center of the mushrikeen, of the polytheists, and was under the control of the enemies of Islam, who had already fought 3 major battles with the Muslims, the battle of Badr, Uhud, and Khandaq, in the ditch, the battle of the ditch, the battle of Ahzab. So, this was no peaceful place, and it was difficult terrain, it was enemies' terrain they have to traverse and enter. And it could be life-threatening. But the Sahaba were very, very excited. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam did not have clear, direct instructions to leave now by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He just saw the dream. And the most important thing was that there was no date given in the dream. There was no time given in the dream that this is when it will happen. It was just shown that this is an image, this is a vision that is going to occur. So when the Sahaba were convincing Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, no, we have to go, he said, okay, inshallah. So he made the intention to travel with the Sahaba. And he set out on the journey. 1,400 Sahaba, 1,400 Sahaba, they went with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked the neighboring Bedouins and the villagers outside of Medina that you can also join us on this trip since we're going together. We can go in a larger group for safety. But some of them mocked that idea, and they said that you're going into the center of shirk of the mushrikeen in their capital, and you don't even have enough weapons, you do not have enough men to fight, and you want us to die along with you. We are not going to join. They are mentioned in Surah Al-Fatih, those people who refuse to join. They refused to join this particular trip because they were afraid. And later on, when there was a very lucrative proposition to go towards Khaybar, as we will hear about, they were very excited and jumping on it. They wanted to go to Khaybar, the stronghold of the Yahud, because they felt there would be a lot of spoils of war. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, no, those who participated in this trip, which is going to be called the trip of Hudaybiyah, only they are permitted to go on to Khaybar. If you did not participate in the first trip, you have no right to participate in the second trip. You have to stay behind. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam proceeded onwards. The news reached the Quraysh. It was not secret that they were traveling only in the dead of the night. Such a big movement, a large movement of people cannot remain unnoticed. And they made a quick consultation and mashwara, and they decided that over our dead body, we are not going to allow this to happen. This is a disgrace for us. The other Arabs from tribes, they will say that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam entered victoriously into Makkah and defeated the Makkans and vanquished them, and he's triumphant and he conquered Makkah. How can we allow our enemy to come and make tawaf? He's the one we have kicked out from the city. He will never enter. So they sent Khalid ibn Walid radiallahu ta'ala anhu with an army to go and stop Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam from entering Makkah al-Mukarramah. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam came with his Sahaba radiallahu anhum to a place near Makkah al-Mukarramah outside, known as Hudaybiyah. And when he came to Hudaybiyah, his camel Qaswa, it stopped. And the Sahaba wanted to beat it and make it move forward, but it kept on, it did not move. It remained in a sitting position, did not get up. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that this camel in the Ma'mura, it is commanded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to stop here. And Habasaha Habisul Fil, the one who stopped the elephant, Abraha's elephants to enter Haram, has stopped it from entering haram. And the idea started forming in Rasulullah's mind, perhaps the time for the fulfillment of the dream is not right now. Maybe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has something else stored in mind. There are many, many details in the books of Seerah regarding this. I want to cut it short. The night is short and we do not have much time. But what happened in short is Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam sent different Sahaba radiallahu anhum to negotiate with the Quraysh to ask them to grant permission. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam first asked Umar radiallahu anhu, Ya Umar, can you go to the Quraysh and speak to them on behalf and be my messenger and convey my message that all I want to do is perform Umrah, I have come in peace, I do not seek battle. Umar radiallahu anhu said that my harshness against the Quraysh, against the mushrikeen is well known, and I do not have any person in my tribe to defend me in Makkah. I suggest that the best candidate for this job is Uthman ibn Affan. He belongs to the Banu Umayyah. Abu Sufyan from the Banu Umayyah is the leader of the Quraysh. He has relations with them. He is a very gentle, nice, noble man, and he is very well respected in the Quraysh. He is more suitable for this task. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam accepted the suggestion of Umar radiallahu anhu, and he sent Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu. When Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was in Hudaybiyah and Khalid bin Walid came to stop him with his army, who later on accepted Islam, it was the time for Dhuhr Salah. So all the Sahaba, they performed the Jamaat of the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Khalid bin Walid with his army just stood there watching. And they were just overcome with the awe when they saw the prayer of the Sahaba radiallahu anhum with such devotion. Imagine the Salah. Imam is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In the first saf you have Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali, Ashra Mubashara of Jannah are standing in the first saf. They were just overawed by this. You know, we are such sinners. And we have interfaith events and the non-Muslims, they come to the masjid, they see the prayer and they say, wow, that was so touching. We just stood there aghast looking at your prayer. Who are we? What type of prayer we have? Na'udhu billah. Our prayer, we need to make istighfar for our prayer. Our istighfar, we need to make istighfar of how we make istighfar. Istighfaruna yahtaju ila istighfar. So, our prayer, Allah it's a great zulm. But the prayer of Rasulullah ﷺ was the best prayer possible. He was so overawed with it. Oh, and he just kept staring. After the salah finished, then this great military genius, Khalid ibn Walid, who's known for his skill, it's a no-brainer. If your enemy is praying, you could attack them when they are not paying attention and finish them off. He said, what in the world happened to me? Why did we attack them? We should have finished them off. We could have killed them in large numbers while they were praying. Then he said, no problem. These people keep on praying a lot. They'll be praying after some time, another prayer. Next time they pray, we will finish them. Because he knew that they keep on praying. These Muslims, what do? They pray 5 times a day. So he said that next time they pray, we can finish them off. But before the next prayer, the ayat of Salatul Khawf were revealed. Subhanallah. Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, فَلْتَقُمْ طَائِفَةٌ مِّنْهُمْ مَعَكَ وَلْيَأْخُذُوا أَسْلِحَتَهُمْ وَدَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَوْ تَغْفُلُونَ عَنْ أَسْلِحَتِكُمْ وَأَمْتِعَتِكُمْ فَيَمِيلُونَ عَلَيْكُمْ مَيْلَةً وَاحِدَةً. That when you lead the salah, Ya Rasulullah, lead the salah with half of the people and keep half of your companions to stand guard with their weapons. And if there was like a 4 rakat prayer, the first 2 rakat, one group would pray behind Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and another group would stand guard. Then what happens? After 2 rakat is finished, the one group, they literally get up from their, the imam makes at-tahiyyatu lillah in the qaida, sitting position, they get up and they leave to take guard, and those who are guarding, they come and they join. They pray 2 rakat behind the imam, the second 2 rakat after the imam, their first 2 rakat. The imam says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. What do? Something very familiar to us, unfortunately. It's like the one who comes late from the iftar party. So they have to stand up, the masbuk. They stand up and they complete the prayer. After they complete the prayer, then they go and guard. Then those who are guarding, this is the extraordinary action. They come back, even though they had left their prayer, they come back and they finish 2 rakat. So this is called Salatul Khawf. So if anyone is paying attention, they might wonder and say that this is really strange. How can you, okay, those who came late, they performed 2 rakat and then they stood up and performed 2 rakat, that makes sense. But what about those who performed first 2 rakat? Then they leave the prayer and go and guard. They're moving and then they come back. So this is something very, very unique called Salatul Khawf. What is a simple solution? You don't have to do this if you have what? What do you need? You can have 2 imams and 2 jamaat. If you just have 2 jamaat or 2 imams, then one group can perform 4 rakat nicely, according to the normal way. Then another group can perform 4 rakat normal way. So why are you doing this extraordinary prayer with movement within the prayer? Only because the entire group is insisting and is not ready to compromise that we will not pray behind anyone else. We will only want the one imam. Subhanallah. If this is the situation, then this relaxation and rukhsa is there that you can have this movement. If Rasulullah is present and alive and is leading salah, he's not passing away on his deathbed like when Abu Bakr Siddiq was pushed forward. In fact, when Rasulullah he made wudu, fell unconscious, then he made wudu, fell unconscious, then he made wudu, fell unconscious. He was in his final sickness. Finally, he could not maintain it. He was not maintaining consciousness for enough time to go and lead the salah. That was the level of his sickness. Then he told Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu anha, Mur Abu Bakr falyusalli bin nas. Go tell your father Abu Bakr to lead the salah. She started making excuses. The noble wife Rasulullah, the beloved wife, and Aisha Siddiqa, Sahabiya Rasulullah, wife of Rasulullah, she said, no, he cannot, because his heart is soft, he will start crying, he will not be able to lead. Until Rasulullah got angry. He said that you are not listening to me. I'm ordering you to instruct Abu Bakr to lead salah. Why are you making excuses? Now, why did she behave like that? There are different reasons given by the scholars. When we covered this hadith in Sahih Bukhari, our teacher, Mufti Radawul Haq, Da'al Barakatuhum, Madallahu Dhillahu Alina, he said, what Allah Ta'ala puts in my heart, I have not read in any commentary, but the reason that Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu anha was delaying it is because she knew that everyone's heart is attached to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Everyone loves Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. No matter who it is, whoever is going to be the substitute teacher, whoever is going to be the substitute imam, take the place of the beloved imam, people will look at him at like, oh, you came here? What are you doing here? We want the original one. That will be the natural feeling of the people because they're so attached. So it's a undesirable position to be in. So she wanted to protect her father from that. She didn't want her father to be in a position where people say, oh, you're here? How come the original is not here? So if Rasulullah was the imam, everyone wanted to pray behind him. So that is why the Salatul Khawf was established. And there, after Rasulullah in our history, there are very few examples at a practical level where Salatul Khawf was performed. Because you have a simple solution, you just have 2 imams. In the Khilafat of Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu, all the way at the end of Uthman radiallahu anhu's Khilafat, Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu 2.5 years, then Abu Umar ibn Khattab 10.5 years, then Uthman radiallahu anhu 12 years. There were very few Sahaba around at that time. And all the way in Kabul in Afghanistan, the Sahaba reached there during the Khilafat of Uthman ibn Affan. Abdurrahman ibn Samura was a young Sahabi Rasulullah who was now a very old Sahabi. He was the commander of that army and he ended up leading Salatul Khawf in Kabul. Why? Because the whole army said, he's a Sahabi of Rasulullah. How can we not pray behind the Sahabi? Abdurrahman ibn Samura. So he led Salatul Khawf. So in any case, that is the history of Salatul Khawf was revealed. Rasulullah sent Uthman ibn Affan to Makkah. When Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu came to Makkah al-Mukarramah, the Quraysh, he went and negotiated with them. He told them that please allow us to perform Umrah. We just came in peace and then we will go back in peace. They said no way, it's not going to be allowed. And then eventually they captured him and they made him prisoner. First they asked him, since you are here, and you're a nobleman and we respect you, you can go ahead and make tawaf. He said, my beloved Habib sallallahu alaihi wasallam is stopped outside. It's not allowed to come. And you're asking me to make tawaf? I can never make tawaf. I can never make tawaf, I can never make umrah without Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Finally, they imprisoned him, and the rumor spread that he had been martyred. He had been made shaheed. And this was, if this was true, this would have been a violation of all norms and international laws and understanding between the tribes. That the envoy and the messenger, it has to have diplomatic immunity, has to be protected. Because he goes alone as a messenger into the heart of the enemy camp to deliver the message. He doesn't have guards with him, or if he does a few, he's not in a position to defend himself. He goes carrying the message. So you cannot kill the messenger. You cannot kill the envoy. Otherwise, how will you have communication? So this was something that really angered the Sahaba radiallahu anhum ajma'in. They were very perturbed. They said, first of all, they're not allowing us to make umrah. Then they killed Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anhu. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam took a pledge and a bay'ah with the Sahaba radiallahu anhum under a tree. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in Surah Al-Fath. لَقَدْ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنِ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ إِذْ يُبَايِعُونَكَ تَحْتَ الشَّجَرَةِ. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was pleased with the believers when they took the pledge on your hands under the tree of Hudaybiyah. فَعَلِمَ مَا فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ. Allah knows the sincerity in their hearts. فَأَنزَلَ السَّكِينَةَ عَلَيْهِمْ. Allah ta'ala revealed His special mercy upon them and promised them فَتْحًا قَرِيبًا, a near victory. What was the pledge? The pledge was that we will fight till the end. We are ready to give our lives to avenge the unlawful assassination of Uthman radiallahu anhu. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam took the bay'ah of 1,400 Sahaba. Jabir ibn Abdullah radiallahu anhu, an Ansari Sahabi, he narrates, كنا يوم الحديبية 1400 فقال لنا النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أنتم اليوم خير من أهل الأرض جميعا. That Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us, we were 1,400 companions who took the pledge under the tree of Hudaybiyah. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, you gathered here today are the best of all the people on the surface of the earth. You are the best people that are assembled here from all the people on the surface of the entire earth. And subhanallah, this was in the 6th year of the Hijrah. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away in the beginning of the 11th year. Then Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu was a Khalifa for 2.5 years, then 10.5 years Umar radiallahu anhu. 12 years later, Uthman radiallahu anhu was brutally assassinated. And he was assassinated. But when? After his Khilafat of 12 years. By the Bughat, by the rebels who surrounded his house. And they slaughtered him in cold blood while he was reciting the Quran. There were some old Sahaba who were alive. All of a sudden, it was a deja vu moment for them, a shock for them. They said, when they heard about the assassination of Uthman ibn Affan, that we took the pledge on the hand of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what? We will avenge the death of Uthman, and today is the death of Uthman. Subhanallah. So he eventually was killed, Mazloom, Shaheed. But it was not destined for him to become Shaheed at that occasion. He became Shaheed much later on. And then the Quraysh of Makkah, they saw the resolve of the Sahaba. Their envoys came. They saw the condition of the Sahaba. They came back to the Makkans and they said, we went to visit the people at Hudaybiyah to negotiate with them. We saw that whenever this Muhammad, their leader sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he makes wudu, the water does not even reach the ground, and everyone grabs it, rubs their faces, rubs their hands, rubs their chest with that water. Whatever word comes out of his mouth, before he finishes the sentence, they run to comply with his order. Miqdad bin Aswad radiallahu anhu told Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Rasulullah, we are not like the Banu Israel who told Musa alayhi salam, Idhab anta wa rabbuka faqatila inna hahuna qa'idun. You and your Lord go and fight, we are sitting here. We are ready to defend you with our lives. We are ready that our children become orphans, our wives become widows. We are ready to be with you wherever you take us. So they saw this commitment and they became scared. They said, maybe we should negotiate. But they said, it will be an insult for us if they make the Umrah now. Let it make it difficult for them, tell them to go back. So finally they came and they ended up signing a treaty. This treaty, the terms were seemingly all one-sided. One condition was, you have to go back right now. You came all the way to the doorstep of Makkah, turn around and go back. You have to shave your heads, slaughter your animals, sacrificial animals, get out of your ihram and go back without seeing the Kaaba, without seeing Makkah, without making tawaf, without making sa'i. Go back. And then, okay, fine, we will give you permission the following year, you can come, just a visa for 3 days. 3 days you have to do Umrah quickly and leave. Moreover, if any one of the believers from Makkah escaped from Makkah, they were mustad'afin, they were weak Muslims who were imprisoned in Makkah. If they escape and come to Medina and join you, you have to send them back. If anyone from Medina leaves Islam and comes back to Makkah, we will not send him back. It was insulting to the highest degree. So Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he was writing the treaty, he said, write Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So they said, Qalu wa mar Rahman. They said, who is this Rahman? Who is Rahim? We don't know this Rahman Rahim. Because these words were not used by the Arabs. Ar-Rahman fas'al bihi khabira. Allah Ta'ala says, you don't know who is Rahman? Ask the one who knows. Ask Muhammad, he'll tell you who is Rahman sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So they said, erase this. Ali radiallahu anhu was the scribe writing it. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam told him, erase it. They said, write Bismikallahumma. This was the Jahiliyyah way of writing. Bismikallahumma. With your name, O Allah. So he said, okay, fine. Bismikallahumma. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was accepting everything. Then he wrote, this is what was decided between Muhammad, Rasulullah and Sahad. They said, stop right there. We don't accept you to be Rasulullah. Why should you write Rasulullah in the treaty? This is something we do not accept. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam told Ali radiallahu anhu, erase it. He said, I cannot erase this. How can I erase Rasulullah? Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself then removed it, and it was written Muhammad bin Abdullah. This is what was decreed between Muhammad bin Abdullah and Rasulullah and the Quraysh. And the treaty was written. So the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, this was a major test for them. Specifically is mentioned in the hadith that Umar radiallahu anhu was very perturbed. He came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and said, Ya Rasulullah, are you not the Prophet of Allah? He said, yes, I am the Prophet of Allah. Are we not on the haqq? Are we not on truth? He said, yes, we are on haqq. Are these not the enemies of Allah? Yes, they are. Did you not see the dream, Ya Rasulullah? He said, yes, I saw the dream. Then why are we not making the tawaf now? Why are we not making Umrah now? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, did I ever say it was going to happen now? Maybe it will happen in the future. So, Rasulullah ﷺ told the Sahaba, shave your heads, get out of the ihram, slaughter your animals. This is the first time in the entire seerah of Rasulullah ﷺ no one moved. Everyone was so much in shock, shell-shocked. They could not believe their ears. They could not understand the implications of what is going on. We are actually not going to do Umrah. They could not digest it. So no one moved from the place. Rasulullah ﷺ went to his home, to his tent, his hujra. He did not his hujra out there. He was in his tent. He's traveling, and he discussed with his noble companion wife, Salama radiallahu anha. She was with him. She was such a wise lady. He made mashwara with Salama radiallahu anha. He said, oh yeah, Salama, what should I do? This is what happened. So Salama radiallahu anha consoled Rasulullah ﷺ and said, no, they're not disobeying you. They're not flagrantly disobeying your command. They're just shocked. What you need to do is, as they say, amal se amal zinda hota hai. To do practice, amal, it gives inspiration to others to follow suit. You go yourself, shave your own head, start shaving your head, and you sacrifice your animal and you get out of your ihram. You do it practically. When they see you doing it, they will start following you. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam took the advice, subhanallah, of Salma radiallahu anha, this noble lady, and he did exactly the same. And when the Sahaba saw Rasulullah slaughter his animal, and they saw him getting out of ihram, then the reality began to sink in, and they followed suit. They followed. And when they were returning back, another test of the iman came when this surah was revealed. Hearts were hurting and they were in so much pain. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the ayah, Inna fatahna laka fatham mubina. Verily we have granted you an open victory. How do you interpret this apparent loss as a victory? This was a bitter pill for them to swallow. The Sahaba of the standard of Abu Bakr Siddiq, they accepted right away. Umar radiallahu anhu, later on he says, I make so much istighfar, I make so much tawbah, and I do so many good deeds as a kafara for, after I accepted Islam, I never had any doubt except for that day. What is going on? Even Umar radiallahu anhu's iman was shaken. This is the level of the test that came upon the believers. But they remained strong, they persevered, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made this actually a great source of victory for the believers. There are so many lessons. One of the most important, besides the fact that you come back next year, you cannot make Umrah now, one important element in that pact, one important condition of the treaty was that there was a non-aggression pact. That we will not fight anymore, there will be no battles. And we are free to travel throughout Arabia for the next 10 years. For 10 years there will be no battle. The Quraysh agree we will not fight, the Muslims agree we will not fight, there will be no battle between us anymore. No one is supposed to attack anyone. Our allied tribes will not attack your allied tribes. This was a treaty that was part of the treaty. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted such a victory to the Sahaba, to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam through this Hudaybiyah, that before this, they could not travel outside of Medina. They were always prone to getting attacked by highway robbers, by hijackers, by enemies. But now there was absolute peace in the Arabian Peninsula. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahaba sent Sahaba on different missions of da'wah. And the Sahaba started traveling because of peace after this treaty was signed. And you saw so many different tribes entering the fold of Islam. This is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحِ. When the help of Allah and the victory comes, وَرَأَيْتَ النَّاسَ يَدْخُلُونَ فِي دِينِ اللَّهِ أَفْوَاجًا. And you will find that people will be entering into Islam in huge numbers. This happened after the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. Huge numbers of people started entering the fold of Islam. Ibn Shahabuddin Zuhri, rahmatullah alayhi, one of the great muhaddithin of the tabi'een, he mentioned a point that if you plot it on a graph, this is the gist of what he said. He didn't mention a graph, but he said that if you look at the number of the believers, 13 years Rasulullah made effort in Makkah, handful of believers. In the Battle of Badr, only 313. How many? 313. In the Battle of Uhud, 700. 3,000 in Khadda. So few thousand. 1,400 in Hudaybiyah. 1,400 in the 6th year. The Quraysh, when they themselves violated the treaty within 2 years, just within the span of 2 years, the graph shoots up. From 1,400 in the 6th year, in the 8th year when Rasulullah comes to Makkah, how many Sahaba with him? 10,000. From 1,400 to 10,000. And then from the 8th year, when the Fatah Makkah, to the 10th year, when Nabi Sallallahu made Hajjatul Wada, his Hajj, from 10,000 becomes 124,000. 10,000 becomes 124,000. So all these years it was difficult, and then why do we see this huge spike in the conversions to Islam? It is because of Inna fatahna laka fatham mubina, the great victory that was hidden within the pact of Hudaybiyah. Because of the non-aggression pact, because there's no battles, now when the Muslims started traveling and giving da'wah, or even engaging in business, just plain business, this gave an opportunity for the other tribes to interact with the Muslims and to gain an opportunity to see firsthand their character, their akhlaq, and they became impressed with Islam and started accepting Islam. This is why it's called Amul Wufud, the year of the delegations. All the delegations from the different tribes came and accepted Islam after this. And subhanAllah, Rasulullah in this era, also after Hudaybiyah, wrote the letters to all the kings of the neighboring kings and inviting them towards Islam. Another victory was that Rasulullah had two major enemies to face in the Arabian Peninsula. One were the Mushrikeen, their headquarters was Makkah, and one were the Yahud, the Jews, their headquarters was in Khaybar. And it was difficult to take on two enemies at the same time. They would be helping each other. But now, when this threat was now silenced and there was no fear from the Makkans, from the Quraysh, as soon as Rasulullah ﷺ reached Medina, immediately he started preparations and he proceeded towards Khaybar. Because now they were divided. If he had to engage the Khaybar, could the Quraysh come to support the Yahud? Not anymore. They just signed the treaty. And it was easy for Rasulullah ﷺ to conquer the forts of Khaybar and conquer the stronghold of the Jews, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave victory. And a huge amount of spoils of war poured into Medina because Khaybar was a very rich area. They had a lot of orchards, and Medina was flooded with wealth after the Fatah Khaybar. So these were all the hidden victories. Within 2 years, they themselves violated the treaty of the Quraysh. They felt so embarrassed. They sent Abu Sufyan, the leader, to Rasulullah to ask forgiveness. Please forgive us. We want to reenact the treaty, continue the peace. Rasulullah did not pay attention, said, we cannot. You have violated it, the treaty is over. And it was now permissible for him, because they violated the treaty, to bring his 10,000 Sahaba and they conquered Makkah al-Mukarramah without any bloodshed. So amongst the many lessons for us is sometimes we see things which outwardly seem very negative for Islam and Muslims and very harming for Islam and Muslims, such conditions which are very depressing, but there could be some hidden khair in it. This happened to Rasulullah ﷺ as well. Many times we make plans in our lives and we do istikhara and we think that we get positive istikhara and we think this is the right thing to do, and we make efforts in a particular direction, whether it's a marriage proposal, whether it's a job, whether it's a business, and then we end up seeing failure. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, عَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُ شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ وَعَسَىٰ أَن تُحِبُّوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ شَرٌ لَكُمْ. Many times perchance you love something, but it is actually bad for you. Many times you dislike something, it seems difficult, it seems challenging, it seems like a defeat, like a setback, but actually there could be something hidden for you good. Allah alone knows the outcome. The outcome will be khair wal aqiba, the husn al aqiba, the best ending lil muttaqeen, for those who maintain taqwa. If you maintain taqwa in good times, in difficult times, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make the final ending good ending for the believers. Even though you might have to go through tests. We might make the effort and it might seem like our efforts are gone to waste, but they will never be wasted in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Any sacrifice made for the sake of Allah will be rewarding. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we can be consoled by this story that he underwent such a great journey with so much sacrifice, he had to turn back, despite being the Prophet of Allah. So where do we stand? Sometimes we will face setbacks in our life, we will face challenges in our life, but if we continue to remain patient, إِنَّهُ مَن يَتَّقِي وَيَصْبِرْ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُضِيعُ أَجْرَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Those who continue to maintain taqwa and be patient, Allah will not allow the reward of those who do good to go waste. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us to overcome challenges in our lives. May He make this story of Hudaybiyah a means of inspiration for us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also grant us ultimate victory. Let's make dua, inshallah, as an odd night. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad wa barik wa sallim. Allahumma barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad wa barik wa sallim. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد صلاة تنجينا بها من جميع الأهوال والآفات وتطهرنا بها من جميع السيئات وترفعنا بها عندك أعلى الدرجات وتقضي لنا بها جميع الحاجات وتبلغنا بها أقصى الغايات من جميع الخيرات في الحياة وبعد الممات إنك على كل شيء قدير. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات. اللهم إنك عفو كريم اللهم إنك عفو كريم اللهم إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا يا كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا يا كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا يا كريم. Oh Allah, accept our ibadat ya Rabbil Alameen. Accept all the brothers doing itikaf ya Rabbil Alameen. Accept all the young and old ya Rabbil Alameen. Oh Allah, forgive our sins ya Allah. Oh Allah, oh Allah, oh Allah, make us among those who are blessed to worship you on Laylatul Qadr ya Rabbil Alameen. Oh Allah, we have different challenges in our lives. Oh Allah, allow us to overcome the challenges ya Rabbil Alameen. Oh Allah, do not test us beyond our ability ya Rabbil Alameen. Oh Allah, we are very weak ya Rabbil Alameen. Do not test us beyond our ability ya Rabbil Alameen. Oh Allah, Oh Allah, there are many brothers who are sick amongst us who have requested dua for shifa. Oh Allah, grant him shifa, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Brother Naveed, one of our musallis in Ansar, is battling cancer. Make it easy for him. Oh Allah, grant him victory over his battle of cancer, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Oh Allah, grant him shifa and return him to his home, Ya Rabbil Alameen. All those brothers and sisters that are sick in the hospitals, grant them shifa, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Those that have passed away, grant them maghfirah, fill the graves of nur, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Oh Allah, oh Allah, oh Allah, accept all our ibadat in this month, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Oh Allah, make this a means of changing our hearts, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Oh Allah, grant us taqwa, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Grant us hidayah, Ya Rabbil Alameen. اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكيها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها يا رب العالمين. اللهم حبب إلينا الإيمان وزينه في قلوبنا وكره إلينا الكفر والفسوق والعصيان. اللهم اجعلنا من الراشدين. اللهم إنا نسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى. اللهم إنا نسألك الهدى والتقى والعفاف والغنى. اللهم إنا نسألك من كل ما سألك منه نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم ونعوذ بك من كل شر استعاذ منه نبيك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وأنت المستعان وعليك البلاغ ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين الحمد لله رب العالمين. Now it's time for individual ibadah. Then around 1:30 we will get together for salawat and the du'as inshallah. Jazakumullah.